Hello, Spartan fans, and welcome to another edition of the Spartan Sideline Report here on NSUSpartans.com. I'm Ross Gordon, the play-by-play voice of the Spartans, joined by Mike Bello, Assistant Sports Information Director, and we'll be joined shortly by the head coach of the women's basketball program, Coach Debra Clark, and junior guard Aivah Parham. First of all, Mike, great weekend for Norfolk State University. They kept the momentum going, and they played well in the first game, even though they lost to Coppin State. It was a close 56-51 loss. And then coming up with a huge victory against Morgan State on Monday night. The score there was 81-68. It was a huge win because the Spartans just needed one to get things started. Yeah, and a lot of times you just need that one win, and that builds so much momentum for you. And Coppin State, like I said, even though it was a loss, it was one of those games where you felt like they had a chance. You know, even against Howard earlier this year, they had a chance. Savannah State, other MEAC games have been close. So just one of those things is like just a little bit more, get over the hump. And obviously Morgan State, the way they came out and just basically blitzed them there, it was a good win for them. You talked about the way the game started against Morgan State. The Spartans jumped out early, played well. I think one of the huge things in that basketball game, as we'll talk to Coach Clark later, is the ability to share the basketball. Norfolk State did a good job of passing the ball, sharing the ball, post-to-post passes. Rika Trice did a good job of sharing the basketball, getting into the lane, finding post players, and getting everybody easy shots. Yeah, and that was a big thing. You know, Morgan State was a team coming in. I mean, they were shooting a lot of threes, and we had the size advantage over them, and we really took advantage of that. I mean, I think it was at least 20 more points scored in the paint that we did over Morgan State. So when you have that type of advantage over them, you got to take advantage of it when you have that, and we certainly did against the Bears. For 29 turnovers, got 26 points off of those turnovers as we welcome in the head coach of Norfolk State University, Coach Debra Clark. Coach Clark, first of all, let's talk about the weekend, because we've been talking, especially last week, about how we were just on the cusp of everything, getting to the places where we could win, just not putting it together.
Right,
this
and
weekend
the last
we did.
few games prior to the Morgan game, we have been doing different things in the game well and some things not so well, and I've been telling them we've have to play a complete game. And I think the Coppin game, we were very, very close, just that the turnovers were just so many. But offensively, I thought we did some good things. We started clicking it better at the Howard game with our high, low, and our post players, and then our guards started to score a little bit more consistently. So after the Coppin State, you know, we talked a lot about taking care of the ball, valuing every possession, and how important it is not to give our opponents extra chances to score. And they responded well against Morgan on Monday.
And Coach, the Coppin State game was a very physical game for you guys, probably one of the most draining games that the players had all season. Talk about that, and then coming in, you know, 2 days later, going into the Morgan game, which was a different type of team, a team that shoots the ball more perimeter oriented.
Right. We knew there would be two different types of games we had to play. Like I said, Coppin's a lot more physical, and Morgan was moving a lot faster, but I still think that we executed our game plan for the most part, except for, you know, the mistakes that we made. I've talked to them about, you know, how many times we are hurting ourselves as opposed to our opponents beating us. I think we are beating ourselves. So we regrouped from that after Coppin on Saturday. And then Monday, we came together as a team. You know, we did everything we needed to do on both ends of the floor, and then luckily Aivah had a great scoring night, which made things a whole lot easier for us.
You talk about Aivah Parham, as she scored 34 points, a career high for her on Monday night. But it was her birthday on Sunday, so I guess she just had an all-around celebratory weekend. The Ravens won. She had her birthday on Sunday, and then she scored a career high on Monday. But I think this is one of the first games that we saw her really under control for 40 minutes of the basketball game, and she got easy shots and she made them.
And she did, and we've been telling her all year long, you know, when she is set and square and has a good look, she's a natural scorer. But I think maybe early on she was trying to press a little bit and trying a little bit too hard instead of waiting and letting her game come to her. We talked a little bit, you know, I'm more concerned about her defense. I know she can score, and we've been talking about her defense, and I told her I really, really needed her to step it up on both ends of the floor. So since the Howard game, she's really responded and improved defensively, and then offensively, we knew that was going to come. She got out there. You know, the team did a good job of getting her the ball when she was open, and she knocked the shots down.
And we wouldn't be remiss without talking about Rachel Gordon, too. We'll get to Aivah in a second. She had a good game as well against Morgan. She tied her career high with 25 points, had a double-double just like Aivah. I mean, talk about her play on Monday.
Well, that was outstanding play, and we knew going in that we could dominate them inside, and that was the plan of attack. I thought all our post players did a good job executing the high-low, but she did an excellent job just finishing. That was kind of been a problem for her. You know, she's right-handed, but she does really well on the left, so she got the ball down low. She finished really, really well, and the fact that she rebounded rebounds. The rebound really what gets her going. As she continues to rebound, she was getting putbacks. So that was a good, productive game for her as well.
We welcome in Aivah Parham from Baltimore, Maryland. Aivah, first of all, this is a game where it's a team that you know very well because they're from your hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, and you played with Tracy Carrington, one of their better ball players. Talk a little bit about what it felt like for you, first of all, to get over that hump, just getting things to go into the basket, and then against a team that you know so well.
It felt good to get over the hump. We had been giving games away a lot this season, so for everything to just come together, our turnovers to be down, being patient on offense, and for everything to just come together felt good.
Aivah, was this one of those games where you just felt like didn't matter who they threw at you, no one was going to stop you, just one of those games where you're in the zone and the defender, they're not even there, you don't even see them basically?
Yeah, I came into the game really confident, and I try to stress that to my teammates to be really confident and aggressive, and we just came out and it was over.
One of the things I think is huge, Aivah, is the fact that we played a boxing one for most of that ball game against Jared, and that's a very difficult defense because you have to move so well. We did a good job of taking away Jared, but we also did a good job of taking away their drives as well. They're a team that likes to get to the basket. Talk a little about the defensive efforts as well that we had.
With defense, we played the boxing one. Ebony and Jasmine really did well on guarding Barnett with the boxing one, and everybody else was just in a box, and we played good help defense and denied well, and yeah.
Aivah, this is one of those wins that you needed. You get the momentum going. You obviously didn't practice on Tuesday, the day after the game, but three more games of practice before Hampton. I mean, is there when you have a win like that and you get that monkey off your back? I mean, you guys come into the gym, is there a different aura about you guys when you come in?
Yeah, we're more confident now. We have momentum, and we're ready to practice harder and get a win on Saturday.
Moving to Saturday a little bit, this is your first experience with the kind of atmosphere that will be, but I'm sure Coach Clark will tell you because she went and played at Hampton. Coach Gordon will tell you because she played at Hampton. It's a lot of Hampton flavor on this coaching staff, but again, you have a lot to pull from. Talk a little bit about what you've heard about the game this weekend and how big it is, the rivalry between Norfolk State and Hampton.
Yeah, the rivalry between Hampton and Norfolk is a big rivalry. I hear about it a lot. In previous years, we haven't really been able to beat them, but I think that this year we will be able to. And it's just an exciting atmosphere to be in, and I'm excited.
Going into the Hampton, obviously, you guys haven't played them yet this year, and like you said, you haven't played them. This is your first year here in the program. But what gives you guys the confidence that this year will be different, that you guys will be able to stay close with the Pirates this year?
Well, the momentum from Morgan State game and Coppin game will give us momentum. And then, most teams in America have been playing them close, and I feel as though that they're, we're right there. They've been winning games by, less than 10. So I think it'll be a close game, and we'll just be able to pull it off.
One of the good things, Coach Clark, that you have is the confidence. We talked about it last week about how it seems like we've been building up to this moment on Monday night. We've been building up to this moment on Monday night. The fans got behind us on Monday, and I'm sure they'll be as well on Saturday. But Hampton's a different kind of test, much like Howard a little bit in the way that they can crash the boards and they have an where their offensive threats come from. Talk a little about that Hampton team.
Well, their biggest strength, I feel, is their half-court defense. I mean, they pressure you, they pressure the ball. They'll deny, one pass away. They'll gamble on defense, but then in the same respect, they rotate extremely well. So one of the keys for us is going to be, execute on offense. We can't turn the ball over in our half-court set. And then again, on the rebounding end, they all crash the offensive boards well. Kiara Avon, she's their leading rebounder, and even Nicole Hamilton, playing the point guard, she's an outstanding rebounder as well. So we're going to have to, do a good job concentrating on limiting them to one shot per possession. But on the offensive end, we're going to have to execute well. And I think down low, we can, like our high-low, our post game, I think we're real dominant because they have long, lean, athletic post players. I think we're bigger and stronger when we can dominate down low. And between that and our perimeter people shooting outside, I think that'll make us a little bit tougher to guard.
And Coach, Aivah mentioned it earlier, Hampton's, they're still undefeated in the conference, which always means something. but they haven't been sort of their dominant selves that they have been lately. Games have been a lot closer. Like she's saying, they've been within 10 points or so. So what do you guys, obviously you said it earlier, but what's going to be one of the biggest keys for you guys to get that win over them?
Well, one is going to be, like I said, to score and not let their defense, dictate what we're going to do. We're going to have to score, and at the least, we're going to have to be even with them on the boards. I think both of us are going in averaging 42 rebounds. We're a good rebounding team as well. So we have to go in, keep them off the offensive glass, and then, like the other night, get some offensive rebounds and put them back in. Earlier in the year, we were getting the rebounds, not converting. So I think we can continue to convert like we did on Monday. That would be a big plus for us.
And finally, Coach, health-wise, are we doing better? I know Cachet had a little issue.
Funny you should ask, because right now Ava's suffering with strep throat, and Q had a little cold this morning. Chrissy is a little under the weather, but we're going to play through it and work through it, and everybody's going to come. I think the excitement of the game that's coming up on Saturday, I think all that will be behind us. So we're going to come, practice hard these next few days, and give our best shot on Saturday.
We said it before. Happy birthday, Aivah.
We
thank you for stopping by. Congratulations on your career high of 34 points. Coach Clark, always a pleasure to have you here. And don't forget, the Spartans return home, as we mentioned, to take on Hampton this Saturday at Joe Eccles Hall. Game time is at 4 p.m. Be sure to keep up with all of the news surrounding Norfolk State University athletics by logging on to the web at www.nsuspartans.com. We would like to thank the NSU Creative Services Department and Coach Clark and Aivah for their help here today. For Mike Bello, I'm Ross Gordon. Until next week, we thank you for watching NSUSpartans.com.